Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Lava did all of the damage, all of the time, but in the background there, Lindarang as well, chunking people out with that GP, helping pick up a Game 1 win for the ROX Tigers and a pentakill for Lava right at the end.
Seemed like a really good scouting report by the ROX Tigers. They realized they could get away with the Gangplank against Gnar. We never really talked about Gnar apart from the one solo kill, and they weren't able to take that into a turret or increase the pace of the game as KONGDOO monster and scaling mid lane as well. There was really no threat from edge onto Lava, who capped it off with a pentakill, so you'd have to think we're going to celebrate him with an MVP. All too obvious there. Show us, OGN, who is the MVP? Surely it has to be Lava.
There you go. So Deathless 9-0-4 at the end with a 93% kill participation. Gets himself his first MVP win here of the 2018 Spring Split.
Interesting runes, presence of mind for that mana or free spells you should say, every level up and also kill. Doesn't want to run out of mana in a team fight, but also running the Legends Bloodline for a little bit more healing as he gets through. But it was a lot of control around mid lane. We mentioned it before, but the jungle matchup was also a mismatch. Nice snipe there coming through from Lava, not his big highlight moment. This was a good one. Using the package with the teleport was more vibrant and action-packed than we've been used to in previous Corki metas. So really a pleasure to watch Lava in this game, all capped off with the pentakill.
You say that, but I mean, it was plenty of action when Mickey was playing the Corki. Maybe for different reasons than he would have liked, but there's always something to look at.
Well, here's something to look at, Achilles. It's a pentakill. Sometimes as rare as a double rainbow, none so far, but 14 matches for us to see our first one. Cool to watch here. Everyone kind of doing their thing, body blocking. The moment Lava had 4, the rest of the team said, yep, let's do it. Lindarang, you don't get no Guardian Angel on that fountain. The fountain laser is usually Teddy. That time it was itself. And congratulations, Lava, with a pentakill.
Well, hashtag Lava Love, maybe. That one will get trending there on Twitter after a pretty dominant performance from him, but you hear that music, KONGDOO monster. Who could it be?
It's going to be Raze coming in for Yujun. Yujun, I should say.
No, Yujun.
Yujun, I got it, okay. Well, I don't have to say it now. And this man loves himself some Jarvan, does Raze. So welcome back, Raze, who has a lot of MVPs for KONGDOO. They were trying something with Yujun. They were trying to give him a debut. He will learn from his first run-out. He will learn from the VOD review, Yujun, from Game 1. But Raze comes back in. He nods his head. I was impressed with his interview where he said, the reason why KONGDOO Monster's getting better is me. I'm the reason. Well, now he needs to, once again, put those words, put them into practice, and actually get them back into this series, because so far, it's all ROX Tigers.
Well, want to tie things up with that 1-1, try to stretch it all the way to Game 3 and pick up the victory to KONGDOO Monster. But ROX, after that performance, you have to expect they're going to be pretty jazzed up. Seonghwan was one of the ones kind of lurking into the background to potentially be voted in as MVP, but given the explosive finish for Lava, it just made perfect sense for people to go ahead and vote him in for it. But ROX Tigers, they have that momentum. Can KONGDOO turn it around with Raze coming back in onto the roster?
Well, they're definitely not going to allow a turnaround of the Galio after the great performance by Lava last time out. Wonder if we'll have to see a Corki ban too, which would be a little bit crazy in this meta, but the meta's still settling in many ways. On the blue side now, the red side bans in Game 1 was Sejuani, Azir, and Galio. Big surprise, of course, was no AD carry bans in the first round for the first time all season. And KONGDOO says, well, we didn't win the first game. Let's throw out that plan. They ban away Kalista.
Yeah, Kalista going to be taken off the board. Still have the Ezreal and that Kog'Maw available, though. We'll see if those are going to be awarded any bans from the side of the ROX Tigers. And also if they're going to be banning away the J4. You saw there on Raze's player card. He's just been playing that non-stop, spamming that multiple times in a row.
Very interesting to see, as you say, how the final bans come through. It could just be targeted towards Raze for the comfort, and it is. So nice little prophecy there. Achilles don't want Raze to be an ultra comfort for themselves, I guess. Just don't want that to be a second round pick. So you saw the Jarvan ban coming out. The spot is surprising, but the fact that Kog'Maw is not banned is not. Could still see KONGDOO first pick that. Ryze being banned away does raise up the possibility of an Azir first pick also. KONGDOO's banned away the particular Ezreal here. So, well, that was just a lot of words that were wrong. Okay, the Kog'Maw was banned against KONGDOO. Ezreal was up. No priority from SSol on that pick, and it's going to be an Azir first pick from KONGDOO.
Go ahead, lock that one in for Edge. We'll see if they want to just take the Ezreal right here, right now for Sangyoon. Given that through to the second round of picks for KONGDOO would be quite surprising, even though it's not going to be the heaviest priority for Seoul, as you say. For now, playing around with another power pick that has made it through with the Sejuani. Seonghwan had great presence in game number 1, and given he was playing against a rookie, he was always outpacing Yujun. Wants to try to have that yet again versus Raze.
It still has an experience edge over Raze, given that Raze's game time at jungle is around maybe 10 games now at this point.
Yep.
10 to 15 games, given his role swap when he was on the Gnar days from the support to jungle, and this is quite a big reach for the Varus. Another comfort pick for Sangyoon, who's not really seen as a big Ezreal player here. I'd say Seoul is more of an Ezreal player. And on sighting the Sejuani, KONGDOO also look for initiation from the jungle role. It's going to be Raze on the Zac, another of the picks he's played this season.
Yeah, we'll see the Ezreal locked in there for Seoul. And the Zac, as you say, coming back in. I would like to see the days again of Seoul going back over to something like the Jhin, where he was really popping off and destroying people at times. But hasn't quite found his way back into the meta, that Jhin pick.
None of those serrated dirt carries are going to be considered. It's hyper carries or hyper mobility in the Ezreal that's popular right now, as ROX Tigers final pick on the red side for a long time flashing over the Vladimir, but it seems like they don't want that flex pick, and instead they're going to tunnel on Lava on another one of his comfort picks. So when he was coming up through solo queue, said to be a 2-trick on the LeBlanc and the Taliyah, so Taliyah is going to be comfort for Lava nonetheless. Haven't been that impressed with Taliyah plays so far in recent times, although some of that was picking Taliyah at inopportune times against Galio, other forms of engage, but Zac alone can do a lot of things in shutting down both Taliyah and Varus, and this is the same duo of damage dealers that we saw Zac dominate, you'll remember, Achilles. Neither Varus nor Taliyah have teamfight mobility to get away from the Zac, so if Raze is on point, could definitely tussle up the two big carries from ROX.
Getting rid of, rather, another top lane and potentially jungle pick with Sejuani's there. So basically going to be that top lane ban away from Lindarang with the Camille, somebody that can get in, lock down the members of KONGDOO as they take that off the board. And final ban from the ROX Tigers is going to be the Jace.
Suggesting that Lindarang will be playing Gnar if left open. Camille, a helpful ban, so they're trying to force the final ban from KONGDOO to be the Gnar. Roach playing the Gnar side of the matchup didn't work out so well for him. Gangplank also left open, we should note, so let's see what the decision is here by KONGDOO, and they seem to be happy to maybe take the reverse side of the top lane matchup if it is to be a Gnar pick here. ROX might be surprised to see no Gnar ban.
Perhaps they just want to go ahead and pick up the Gangplank again, since it was surviving relatively well versus the Gnar in the last game, and Roach didn't really have that many impactful moments, and seems like that might just be the case, and they'll go ahead and lock it in.
So they feel like worst case scenario, they'll be facing the Gnar, but we should note that there is also the Vladimir available that could be taken by KONGDOO. It would mean they'll be very, very heavy on magic damage, but Vladimir does run over Gangplank in lane. There's lots of other laning picks we don't see in competitive play. Riven certainly could be considered if you're a great Riven player, but Roach doesn't usually trade in on the carries, so we're not expecting him to go too carry focused in this matchup, but this is his moment to impress us.
Well, Alistar to round out the bottom lane there, as Secret takes that one away. Final pick, letting the clock run down a little bit here, and Rumble is going to be the hubber here for the moment.
This will be different. You would expect Vlad if it's going to be an AP threat. But Roach has more comfort on the Rumble if he was to choose AP, and he looks at the team comp, realized they'd be pretty heavy into magic damage if they were to draft Rumble or Vlad. They'll just go for the Gnar, but this matchup went pretty poorly apart from a solo queue when it comes to actually being able to play around it. Should note this is different, because you might think, okay, got a solo kill, that's good, but the turret was up, the Gangplank was free farmed, what went wrong? It must be Roach's fault. Remember also, it's a two-part plan. If you're getting a solo kill, if you're pushing in a lane, your team rotating around it, your jungler coming up is relevant. This time, Raze is there, and Raze has been really good at creating action where he went. His economy of movement as a jungler has been something to praise. So let's see if once again Roach can get a decent laning phase and then actually have his team be in position to take down the turret to start the snowball on ROX Tigers. Otherwise, we know how the scaling game goes for the GP.
All right, well, Taric, the last pick here for ROX Tigers as Key goes ahead and pilots that one. Yet again, moving forward. So plenty of lockdown for that bot lane duo if they can get their hands on the Ezreal. He's going to be a bit slippery with the arcane shifts, but if they land the Dazzle, if they land the Chain of Corruption, they can absolutely annihilate him in an instant once those items start rolling through for the Varus. So he's going to have to be very quick on the movement there to keep himself safe. To Soul. Raze. He's the one who's really got the pressure on him coming into this game.
Absolutely. Whenever you're subbed in, you're looked at as someone who can actually turn the game. We'll see if Raze can do it. It's on the Zac, so less proactive options outside of some creative pathing. See if he tries to visit bot lane at level 3, Jarvan-esque, even without as much early damage. Edge also, a bit of a down game on the Malzahar, non-factor on that one. This time, he's going to be on the Azir, and we've already seen Azir's pop off as recently as last night.
That's true. It was a little bit slow there at the beginning for Pawn, but by the end, he managed to bring out the win and help KT secure that first Telecom War victory in over a year. Let's see if KONGDOO Monster can use it to secure a victory here in game number 2. Take us to game 3, or if ROX is going to find the 2-0, let's go ahead, load onto the Rift, and see what happens.
That was a squeak.
Whoa, man. Hopefully that's not your voice by the end of this week.
I'm working on it. Hopefully I get deeper. I want to get deeper. The squeak would be not the direction I'm looking for.
Good evening and welcome to the LCK.
That's very sultry over there. You should try working that one. Can you make that your everyday voice? It's better than your normal one.
That should be my team fight voice only. I actually don't even know if I could do that at a very fast pace. It might be a disastrous experiment.
KONGDOO Monster fans, see the names at the bottom there, celebrating their team. Not to cheer about for the first 3 games of the season, but worrying thing for KONGDOO fans is that they're a streaky team, Achilles. They've been known to have very long losing streaks.
That one especially, that's their most popular streak.
Yep, absolutely. Raze trying to change that up. He's on this Honey Zac skin, I believe it's called. There's 2 skins that look almost the same shade of yellow, and this one's called Honey from memory. But see what Zac can happen here. Zac's been a really popular pick, rising around the world in the jungle and the LCK as well, and very high win rate as well. So far the Zac has been very, very powerful. It's weird how the meta's changed almost entirely since a year ago, but also has a lot of commonalities, like champions who've been out of the meta for a long time coming back.
Still those familiar faces, but, you know, I, for one, have been quite a big fan of the Azir making its resurgence. It doesn't feel as oppressive as it did in the past, you know, back in 2016 when it was absolutely ridiculous. But still can provide those really entertaining plays, very much like we've seen from FLICKR and Pawn yesterday.
I agree with you. I really like watching Azir because he has the flexibility to do so much, but he's always one balance tweak away from being just the worst to lane against.
Yes.
His range is going down, made him a little bit more palatable, but the fact that he does everything, you know, team fighter, late game scaler, good laning phase because of his range, he's able to put down the turrets as well. He has so much in his kit, escapable and an initiator, that if he's ever in the meta, even if the numbers are only slightly too high, you really feel it, and he quickly becomes the defining champion of the meta, and he's right back there right now.
It's like the new age LeBlanc or Kassadin.
With a better laning phase than both.
Yeah, as it turns out. But for now, bot lane, not really what we should be watching OGN. Cut away from this at any given time. I'd rather watch the top lane where Lindarang had a very nice triple barrel chain together.
No unsealed spellbook for Secret, so KONGDOO Monster Secret is going to be strapped to the bot side only. Sad to see. No fleet footwork on Seonghwan. I was heavily expecting that to be his decision this game, but I guess after the Zac was locked in, he realized there was not really going to be much flexibility in going that way. He just wants to be the pure initiated tanky role.
Surprised we're not seeing the handoff on the blue buff. I guess maybe trying to hold this for a little bit longer here as Lava clears out the wave. Or, no, it's just going to be Seonghwan taking this one away at the end of the day.
Yeah, nice little steal coming through. Zac often, if you remember, again, a year ago color point, but still a relevant one, would skip over blue buff and then might actually donate the blue early to delay the timers, give blue buff to edge, then push in the lane, and when the enemy blue buff spawn, be in first position to actually invade and monopolize all blue buffs.
I actually like that quite a bit right there. Seonghwan going back over the wall with a charge just to get the blast cone.
Yep.
Give it as much reaction time to Lindarang should Raze try to gank the top lane.
One of my biggest pieces of advice is if you're a bot laner, support especially, just ward over if you're on, say, blue side, and just clear out the blasting plant with a ranged auto attack. It's something that gives you so much safety. Doesn't take a lot of time. Does allow you to extend the laning phase, which you always want to do in solo queue. It can be very, very long if the snowball starts.
Well, hopefully this isn't much of an extended laning phase here as we see Engage going through there onto Sangyoon. Shields are up. Dazzle coming through. They get the lockdown in onto Secret. He goes low. That's going to be the exhaust. Maybe force out the flash. A couple more hits would finish him off. Flash forward there from Seonghwan. One more auto attack. Not enough to take him down. Needed the piercing arrow as well, but didn't have the range. So Secret will survive, but that's going to be 3 summoner spells down for the bottom lane of KONGDOO Monster.
A really bizarre laning choice by Secret. He didn't actually have his jungler. That was 3v2, and he took free damage. Not even baiting, just a mistake from Secret in the laning phase on Alistar, one of his comfort champions. Should have been punished with a kill. Does draw out the flash from Sangyoon. It's a freebie given over by KONGDOO Monster in the 2v2 laning phase, and this is in the Quadra Relic Shield meta, so a big mistake.
Lindarang yet again, being chunked out. He's going to have to go back to base. He does have the TP. Get himself back quickly, however. It seems like Roach is just going to match instead of trying to push the wave in. So we'll see. Yeah, just going to be the Sheen pickup for now. Help him trade back a little bit more damage in onto the Gnar. But still a ways away from chunking him out significantly. Yet again, is keeping up in CS.
It ends up being an enforced shop for Sol. Often you want to back with at least a pickaxe or a Sheen on top of your tier, so really going to be no laning presence from a Flash and Igniteless Alistar and a tier-only Ezreal. Sangyoon and Key already had the laning advantage just because you'll take Varus in basically every laning scenario unless there's a huge mismatch in terms of support laning role. That means that for now, KONGDOO Monster going to have to be pretty extensively pushed in both, as well as in chiefly the bot lane. Does mean that perhaps Zac can try to make things happen top side, and KONGDOO just hug the turret bot side.
OGN trying to make us suffer.
Are you not entertained, Achilles?
You know, not really. Fortunately, the Farm Fest isn't exactly why I enjoy watching League of Legends.
I do like my interactive laning phases, and sadly, we've been denied one, at least for the remainder of the 8.1 patch cycle. Gnar saying his own name is the most action happening on the Rift right now. But Lava's looking for a roam. He does have control wards on the bot side. This is usually prime time for the Taliyah to make roams.
Spot out there though, stun coming through. Wallop connects in onto Lindarang. Go down below half HP. Roach still getting several hits in, going for those hyper procs. This is just a very painful laning phase here for the Gangplank, yet again taking more stacks from the boomerang tosses.
Not many more harasses away from having to ult defensively to try to clear the wave.
Or burn the stopwatch. If they go for a dive, you can already see the Zac roaming up towards that top side of the map as Raze tries to create a little bit of action and maybe get that first blood on the board. Lindarang throwing down the barrels. Now Elastic Slingshot comes through. Cannonball Barrage into the stopwatch. Lindarang goes golden, forces out the flash from the Zac. So honestly, pretty good result for him because he didn't have to use his own flash this time around.
Does use 2 abilities, long cooldown on the ultimate and the stopwatch broken, but that's what you pick it up for, Achilles. So good play there from the Gangplank. Doesn't have teleport, so we'll lose a lot of turret HP, and it leads to a delayed invade also by the Zac onto enemy red, but we know it's just a trade, and I want to focus on the fact that ROX have been able to stick 2 control wards bot side, which threatens Taliyah roaming with the Weaver's Wall at every moment when she leaves lane bot side, and it's also at the same time as Infernal Drake is the first spawn. So when it comes to which side of the map do you want to take, if you're going to vertical jungle, do you want top or bot lane? ROX are going to take bot lane 10 out of 10 times and just leave Lindarang to his own devices, and they get the maximum with the Infernal Drake.
Yeah, I mean, the vision control right now is just disgusting from ROX along that bottom side. You can see the question mark pings coming out from KONGDOO Monster. He had pretty much no idea, really, where Sangyoon and Key went. No pings over onto the Dragon, and now we've got that 8% AD AP going over to the ROX Tigers.
Yeah, Alice and I spent the majority of the Taliyah game yesterday talking about how double control ward on one side of the map is basically the spoiler to which side that team wants to play around if they have a global. If they have a Taliyah or a Galio, you see 2 control wards and tells you they want to play bot side. Makes a lot of sense. They have a winning matchup. The Drake spawn was strong. They're allowed to play their own game, and it'll be another Infernal in 5 or so minutes.
Elastic Slingshot going to be coming out there. Sangyoon throws down the ultimate, trying to kite his way back, but he gets pulled back in. Cosmic Radiance will keep him alive.
Doesn't have flash
here for the moment. Ignite coming down, pops the heal. Let's bounce. Actually, just carrying Raze closer to the turret, and they actually won't even get that much damage down onto the Varus. Cosmic Radiance able to chew up quite a bit of it, and another failed gank comes through there for KONGDOO.
One of the best possible gank timings. That time Lava had roamed topside, and Sangyoon was about 30 seconds away from having his smite back up. His flash, sorry, I should say, back up. But now being zoned away from the turret, so free turret damage to the side of KONGDOO Monster.
Yeah, Dazzle connecting there on a secret as they try to chunk out the Alistar where they can. Shot Barrage used as well by Soul, just trying to keep the wave pushed in. Get a little bit of HP away from Sangyoon and Key, maybe force them back so they could get that first brick gold, but to no avail. ROX Tigers are able to stick around.
And they're only rocking the tier. Another reason why you could be a bit more optimistic if you're ROX Tigers, because even in all of that, there was no extra damage on Soul during the all-in attempt, 3v2 in the bot side. So, unfortunately, no better option for Raze. That was the right lane to gank the right time because the flash was down on Sangyoon, but the result suboptimal because just not enough damage on the side. Has completed Mana Moon there now for Soul.
It's also hard to tell. He might have been spotted, Raze. There was a ward over the wall by the Tri-Brush that might have seen him, but not quite sure. But either way, it seemed like ROX were calm, cool, and collected throughout the duration of that.
Just want to return to the laning phase, 2v2. Rageblade on the way soon from Sangyoon. Both these AD carries piecing together, more power for the late game, but for now, not much to talk about there. And Lindarang, once again, doing better in CS than you would expect. His flash is back up, his ult is back up. The stopwatch isn't going to come back, but on the way to the Trinity Force, only about 15 CS disadvantage, so probably equal in gold, and maybe even a slight gold lead to Lindarang, thanks to Kleptomancy.
He's finally going to go ahead and use that trinket, spots out the wards. In the meantime, Lava trading back heavily there onto Edge. Seonghwan coming in, barely whiffs the ultimate, it's just out of range, but flashes in, gets the slow there onto Edge. One more hit will do it, and that's going to be first blood. Going over to Seonghwan, now the Let's Bounce, dragging 2 members in underneath the turret. Seonghwan gets locked up, pushed back in alongside Key. He'll flash away, trying to get himself out of there. The seismic shove from Lava will knock Roach away. Gonna be a 1-for-1, but first blood goes over to ROX.
An insane amount of displacement between the Gnar ultimate and the Zac Kidnap is enough to actually spare the blushes of Edge in particular. Edge heavily misplayed the Snarl. When the replay starts, you'll be able to see. This is with Zac charging up, and Edge goes for the all-in, doesn't flash onto Lava, and then tries to walk away, but it's a walk of shame because he has to ult defensively. He gets locked up by CC and slows, gets flashed on, but Raze here knocks heads, puts 2 people into turret. Unfortunately for Seonghwan, Key does not take turret aggro. The ult wouldn't have armed in time, but they spare the blushes of a pretty bad play, honestly, from Edge.
Yeah. And even then, Seonghwan barely missing that ultimate also contributes to him losing his life. Had he had the flash available, didn't have to use it to secure the first blood. Maybe would have been able to get out of there even with the turret aggro.
It's a bit of a tilt over back timing as well, Achilles, because not enough for the Nashor's Tooth, went for the Sorcerer's Shoes.
Ugh.
So the extra boots too might mean that next time he goes for a play, he'll be in better position, but not having the Nashor's 13 minutes in is always pretty frustrating as an Azir.
This extra feels bad.
Can't afford too much more. Feels bad if you're KONGDOO Monster. Again, this game definitely is not away from them just yet. But once again, they have a Gnar doing well on the top side, but they're not playing around it. Even with Raze, Raze are more focused on mid and bot lane.
There we go, taking another pass at it. Cleanse comes out. And Edge will stay alive this time around. Better accuracy there from Seonghwan.
Love to see Raze make a visit topside. Try to go for the turret dive. If not, pick up the Rift Herald, which at this point will probably be unanswered by the side of ROX Tigers, but so far bot side focus from the side of KONGDOO Monster. Mage Blade now complete for Sangyoon. Items in a good spot. 1 item spikes for everyone. Even Lava going for a very early Haunting Guys. Entry into the Leandries. When you're against Zac and Alistar, the Leandries definitely is a nice purchase, but once again Raze trying to play around mid lane while Lava's flashes down. We'll definitely see Zac's threat onto Lava and Sangyoon as the game goes on, but it's too much over pursuing, and I think play where you're strongest. For ROX, we've already said that was bot side. That's why he complimented them on the control wards they had at the time. They don't have them now. Of the side of KONGDOO Monster, your strongest lane by far is top side. So just allow him to actually get over the edge and take a turret or pick up a kill.
Getting more vision down around that bottom side is going to be important here for ROX Tigers as that second Infernal Drake does spawn up at the moment. KONGDOO
look who it is.
Have control, and we'll take another pass at this one. No stopwatch this time around. Lindarang stunned into the wall. We'll go ahead and flash away. The other side has the Cannonball Barrage coming down as Roach goes back into mini form. Let's bounce. Not going to find him. And yet again, Lindarang will survive the 1v2.
Yeah, the dance moves there really impressive from Lindarang. And of course, at the same time, as we see ROX just take down the Infernal, wait out the ultimate from Ezreal, smite it away. Clean stuff from the ROX Tigers. We've complimented Seonghwan a couple of games in a row. Credit Lindarang for his laning ability to get through a second gank, draw multiple flashes out. Nice stuff.
I mean, they had the confidence to go for the GP, even with the Gnar still available. And yet again, this time no stopwatch, uses the flash. He makes it out with his life. And that's a second Infernal Drake going over to ROX. It is just, it hurts to watch this for KONGDOO as we see the Dazzle going through straight into the lockdown from the Sejuani, and SSol didn't have a single chance. He is deleted as Key, of all people, does walk away with the killing blow. 2-1 here to ROX, finally looking to knock down the first turret of the game, but the wave is pretty thinned out, so it looks like they're probably just going to have to settle for a smattering of damage.
Usually we criticize AD carries for dying when their summoners up, but there was no time to press buttons there. Achilles stunned the entire time and then dead, so goodbye, Death Chamber for SSol.
QSS.
You know, if he built a QSS, they would almost certainly lose this game because he needs damage really badly.
It's such a catch-22 situation.
He's
Ezreal.
Really do
anything
Hopefully
right.
he can outplay the next one, but they lose the turret. Easily DPS down by the side of ROX Tigers. Where they're strongest, they have a turret down, they have a kill. Where the team of KONGDOO Monster is strongest, they have frustration and tears at not being able to kill the damn pirate, who has stayed alive 17 minutes this time. So we've got an Infinity Edge and an item lead. This is the Gangplank against your team in solo queue, for sure.
Yes, it is.
Enemy team Gangplank doing very well.
Triforce completed. Just building up. Well, trying to move along with the build, and he is going to be doing so much damage. It's going to be ridiculous. Might top the charts this time around, but seems like KONGDOO Monster, they get the inside track over here onto this turret. They get quite a bit of damage in, but not enough to finish it out quite yet.
It's a defensive rotation, though. The reason they do this is not to pile on the pressure as the team with the Gnar against Gangplank. The fact that they're dodging out of Gnar versus Gangplank and trying to just get something for SSol lets you know that they're very far behind. Usually want to extend the time you have a bully against a scaling top laner, but it's more about their bot lane being exposed. Summoners up, still looking for the lane swap. For now, at least, it's going to be just even on the side, and it feels like ROX have the ability to pile in faster. They still have the Weaver's Wall. They still have the ability to out-rotate the team of KONGDOO Monster. And KONGDOO don't have any vision in between lanes for something like a big Zac engage to actually matter.
Yeah. And what vision they do have is being cleared out. They're looking for the Scuttlecraft perhaps here. Last Slingshot going to come in, but Raze just a bit too late to actually seal that one away. We'll get the pull back there onto Seonghwan, but with just the Alistar waiting in the wings, it's not going to be enough. Now the Let's Bounce coming through just to try to get himself out of there safely, but he's still going to get locked down. That's going to be passive. Getting proc. TP's coming through on either side. One straight into the middle of the ROX Tigers members. They will lock down Roach and absolutely obliterate him. Should have canceled that one long ago, my friend, because that's a double kill going over to Sangyoon. And now ROX going to be looking to finish off this Rift Herald here, 18.5 minutes in, which will enable them to knock down more turrets over from the side of KONGDOO Monster.
Awesome Weaver's Wall from Lava there. It meant that even using the Let's Bounce couldn't get enough distance, cut off the reinforcements, and also cut off the escape for two members of KONGDOO Monster. 2 kills, a Rift Herald, and soon to be turrets aplenty, you'd have to think. A bonanza by the side of ROX Tigers. They're just playing so damn well, and we didn't really see this, ROX. Even against SKT when they picked up a game, it didn't necessarily feel like we would see a next step. It did feel like it was just kind of a win against the run. But in fact, it feels like they do have the potential to get out of those bottom spots, to be a thorn in the side of some of the better teams. And unfortunately for KONGDOO Monster, the hope of them representing a better team lasted 3 games, and now they're looking down 4 losses in a row.
Yeah, this is looking like KONGDOO from years gone past, whereas ROX looking very clean. A fresh new ROX Tigers, perhaps.
It's so different too, you know, it's kind of a lean new version of the ROX Tigers. There's no one there of, you know, long-standing history. There's no Shy on the bench to put in after a loss. Lindarang is the only top laner in the roster. Mighty Bear has more experience, but they're confident in Seonghwan so far as a team. Sangyoon,
and he's been doing really well.
I mean, the only player of long time standing is Sangyoon, and he's still a player who's very hungry. He's still someone who hasn't got anything to show themselves for what has been a 3-year career. They want to actually make it back to the playoffs. He was a playoff veteran with the Freak of Freaks years ago, but ROX Tigers in 2017 could not find any success. So it's still a team with 5 players keen to show something, and they are showing something game on game.
Well, right now, ROX Tigers showing multiple members up towards the top side as they try to get a lockdown, perhaps onto Sol yet again. Retreating forward here, Sangyoon just opening up on the turret, trying to finish this one off as Raze will join in the party. Charge over the wall keeps Seonghwan alive here for the moment as the wards get cleared out. A few more seconds with that turret, and Sangyoon will be able to take it down.
Looking at some of the intermediaries, notice that ROX will not be able to creep any vision up to guarantee the safe take of the turret. That's why you see them pushing a wave and leaving, because it's double control ward and a Zac being threatened on the blue side, and Zac getting the perfect engage onto Sangyoon and Lava is about the only way this game can actually slow down from the side of ROX. They could just throw down a Weaver's Wall and try to force the hand of the enemy team. Will be spotted out.
Yeah, just now, I believe. Might have dipped into vision there. Certainly is spotted at the moment here, but the Weaver's Wall still going to be coming through, just cutting them off, allowing them to finish off the turret. Not even going to ride that one in. Just wanted to hang back and make things that much easier for his ADC.
Checklist continues to be run down one by one by the ROX Tigers. Lindarang just farming in the bot side. Mountain Drake spawned, and they already have the 2 Infernals, so definitely going to be returning to that soon, will the ROX Tigers. But for now, farming on the top side. Okay, Rift Herald being spawned.
Just going to pop that one out. Try to get rid of that final outer turret here. As pretty much almost the charge alone would kill this. It's going to take it very low. And there you go. Just a couple hits there from the Varus. We'll go ahead and finish it off. If not, just the Rift Herald itself, since it hasn't really been distracted by the members of KONGDOO yet. There you go. Will be finished off in the end.
3 out of turrets down. A visit to the Mountain Drake. All the pieces piling up. All the scaling ready to bear fruit. Everything coming together for ROX Tigers and for KONGDOO. You look at the map, some decent defensive vision, nothing at the river, nothing advanced, certainly at this point. No real way to get back into the game, barring one of those team fights with Azir that has been the sustenance of so many teams who have fallen behind in recent days. But it's just looking unlikely because ROX is making all the decisions and KONGDOO is just along for the ride.
I think they went off this ride. Nearly 6,000 gold in the lead here at about 23 minutes. KONGDOO Monster will be able to answer with their first turret take of the game. They're still pretty significantly behind. Mountain Drake, double Infernal over to ROX. It is going to be very scary when, and I guess if, that Elder Dragon becomes a reality. We might see this game finish before that spawn does come through. We'll have to see. It's all going to come down, perhaps, to Baron play, which is going to be, you're going to have to expect in the very near future here for the ROX Tigers.
When they're all grouped up, maybe we can see some magic from KONGDOO, but my first thought is to make that magic happen, you need to blow some summoners beforehand. You need to hit certain item timings, not be second to a lot of the timings that ROX is hitting. I mean, predictably, they're 5,000 gold ahead. you can't just say Baron will change the tide, barring a smite steal, which certainly is possible by Zac, but unlikely. Percentages all lie with the ROX Tigers. We're kind of waiting for them to accumulate enough vision around the Baron and then actually have the balls to start it off.
Pretty much a pick onto anybody there on the side of KONGDOO. Probably be enough encouragement for ROX to go for it. Seonghwan just making sure that they have a nice vision control here around the pit. There's that one ward they haven't checked for. I believe it might have just now been spotted out. Yep, Sangyoon does finish that one off and gets the Scuttle Crab.
Ability to turn here from ROX Tigers is very powerful. Another reason why Sejuani is so popular, I always mention non-committal engage. It's also the ability to turn with the Sejuani ultimate, can tank it and then turn around and engage in a way that few other junglers can. There's no sort of cast animation there, it's just thrown out, potentially can allow the turn to be even more powerful. So another reason why Sejuani is basically permabanned, and ROX Tigers were very fortunate to pick it up on the red side. First pick Azir, not necessarily been paying off for Edge, who kind of looked a little bit wayward one time this game and otherwise just been farming.
At least he got his Gnasher's Tooth.
That's
about it.
him. Yeah.
It's the only completed item. Outside of that, halfway to that Liandry's.
Might just be a Magic Pen build and rush towards the Void Staff now. Hold off on the Liandry's.
Yeah, seems like that's going to be the play. But, I mean, he needs a lot of alone time with just hitting people with the Sand Soldiers in order to get the kills to come through here. So, I don't think he's going to be given that much leeway in these fights.
So, return to top side. If they can push up minion waves, at least that decreases the chance there will be a Baron start from the side of ROX. And it is all in pursuit of delaying the game towards Zac and Gnar and Alistar, I guess you say, the initiation trio of KONGDOO Monster being able to tussle up Lava and Sangyoon. I think there's no guarantee in the late game when there's such a wealth of initiation provided by KONGDOO that two immobile threats will be able to carry them through multiple late game team fights. Flashes being down is almost curtains for the team fight hopes of the ROX Tigers, so definitely no guarantees for now.
You need the perfect Cosmic Radiances every single time. Do hope and pray that he can survive here. Lindarang yet again going to be getting jumped on by Roach, who's got that red buff. Will force out the flash there. Gage going to get popped. And it's going to be Roach going for it. And Barrage comes through. Roach yet again pushing forward, but has to go ahead and start cutting back because that Weaver's Wall does come down. Lava joining in. Going to be looking for the pickoff here on a Roach who's playing inside the brush. Seismic Shove not going to connect. He's going to get the stun. The Wallop coming through. Can he finish him off? Lava popping the heal, trying to stay alive, trying to win out the trade. Will be able to get it in the end. Very sloppy, you would have to say, but really good job there by Roach playing around vision. But now KONGDOO certainly can't try to pressure out around the Baron.
Yeah, Roach had some nice moves, almost turned it around, playing in and out of vision and also the minion line against a Taliyah. It didn't matter. Enough damage went down to eventually take down the Gnar. And unfortunately for the side of KONGDOO Monster, they're not strong enough as a 4 to actually punish two members being bot side. They got a bit of vision around the Baron. Might delay the Baron take, but no other good news story. And they also lose their inner bot lane turret. So a pretty big price to pay. And not even a kill for Roach to show for.
Yeah. Now going back to base there, that's the Almost Ghost Blade completed for Lindarang, so he's going to be that much more slippery to try to lock down that bonus move speed coming through. Fantastically played overall by Lindarang, but good on Lava to be prepared with that Weaver's Wall to go in and save him in that last little skirmish.
Making a 1v1 play against a global when you have no map control. So, unfortunately for Roach, he felt the need to make something happen because the game felt like it was slipping away from KONGDOO Monster. I'm of the opinion that just continuing to delay would be just fine, given that Azir and Ezreal can do a lot of heavy lifting late game, and they have the initiation to force things when they actually are strong. They're not strong now, and unfortunately for them, it doesn't necessarily exacerbate the problem, but definitely doesn't get them a foothold back into the game.
King almost done there for Sol. Keep themselves safe a bit longer in those fights, or perhaps even go aggressive and pursue in onto the likes of Sangyoon and Lava. Taking away that move speed. But
Control doesn't actually spot. It does actually. Okay, so it is being controlled.
Reaper's Wall does come down. Arsenal in the bottom lane there. Roach trying to build up the Gnar bar. Has the TP ready to go. Hidden Corruption comes down. Raze up into the front. Has the Let's Bounce. Drags him in right as the Cosmic Radiance comes through. Corruption coming down. Will keep Seonghwan and he alive in the fight. And Sangyoon manages to get rid of the Zac right here at the start. First one to fall in the exchange as Lava tries poking over the wall there with a threaded volley. Doesn't get a whole lot of damage thrown in. KONGDOO Monster does stop ROX from taking the Baron, but now they've lost Raze. It's still 30 seconds on the clock. ROX, do they want to just go ahead and start this up yet again?
You won't see cleaner Taric play than that. Credit to Key getting much better in this game too, and they turn again.
They coming through. They're going to find the lockdown yet again in on SSol. He gets popped before he can make it out as Lava finds the key. Or finds the kill.
Bit on the nose there, Kilios.
Yeah, that it is. Emperor's Divide coming through here for Lindarang. He tries to stay alive, but bitten off more than he could chew. Now I'll start offering up just a bit too much CC. He will go down as Edge finds the kill. And that will go ahead and send ROX off of the Baron this time around.
And over pursuit by Lindarang dies. Could have been a 5v3 scenario. Ends up being a 4v3. And against Azir, time to actually flex his muscles. ROX are smart to move away. Good stuff by ROX. The start, but unfortunately not being able to stick the 2 kills for free means that Baron is no longer a realistic objective. They back away, and KONGDOO Monster may continue to lose in gold. In the gold lead now, around 8,000 gold. But it's not snowballing, it's just slightly moving at a glacial pace towards ROX Tigers. And unfortunately for KONGDOO, definitely not how they intended this game to go, but now kind of the best they could hope for.
Still alive. That's about what they can hold on to here at the moment. Until that Nexus crumbles. They're going to be fighting tooth and nail, trying to make their way back into the game. See the TP going to be used here by Lindarang as they go back over to this one yet again. Reaper's Wall going to be used. Secret, the only one who's made it over towards the side of the Baron pit. Walking in. He doesn't have his ultimate available by the look of it, but it still would be suicidal. So Baron will get picked up in the end by the ROX Tigers, and now they're looking to pick on a lonely little Alistar here. Slump coming through, will flash over the flail. Seems like he'll make it out with his life, but at such great cost.
Really nice Weaver's Wall. I have to say, Lava a few times this game has...
He's been on point with him.
He has, absolutely. Crown-esque with some of the Weaver's Wall. Been very, very good from him. Not a believer of the Taliyah in this meta, but definitely a believer in Lava's Taliyah. Playing really well in this particular game. Finally get the Baron they've been set up for a few minutes now. Item-wise, they are in a huge power spike. They have double Infernal and the Baron buff. Breaking the base of the absolute minimum with this Baron buff, and they should be able to do so once they get their waves in order.
I'll just keep pushing here. Getting ready to go over the 10,000 gold lead mark. Cloud Drake's up. They already have 3 stacks. Not sure how much emphasis ROX is going to put on taking away that one. Could just kill, try to get that Elder Dragon spawn a bit sooner. But for now, with the Baron buff, seems like they're just going to be looking to play the lanes. Lindarang back down to the bot side. Already took out that tier 2 turret, now going to be looking to work his way over towards the inhibitor. Seeing just how far he can go versus Roach. Shop Rush tossed out by SSol, not really going to be that effective in clearing out the wave. As we can hit pretty considerably, but Sangyoon with so much attack speed just melts down that turret all the same.
KONGDOO Monster don't really have a free initiation. Zac goes in, they make a mistake, the game could potentially end even at 32 minutes in the game. They just hang back, they feel like they will find a better time, a better spot, but no guarantees that will actually happen. One more inner turret left. Inhibitor line not broken yet though, a minute 30 left on the Baron.
Over the Weaver's Wall thrown down. They're off, Let's Bounce come through, Cosmic Radiance yet again. With a proc right as they get put in underneath the turret. A little bit of damage there onto Sangyoon as he falls down to about half HP. That might be enough for ROX to go ahead and say, okay, you know what? Let's not over-pursue this. Let's peel back as a squad.
Are we too much respect shown by Sangyoon in particular after the Cosmic Radiance arm? Still felt the threat. Potential pick CC and flashed away. Means that now he won't be able to step up as confidently. Looking for turret damage here. Turret's still relatively healthy given the scenario.
To be that much more careful. True Shot Barrage yet again used. SSol not going to find a whole A lot of damage going through with just now a minute on the clock. Here for ROX Tigers with this Baron buff, everyone's going to go back to base. So it seems like just the one turret is pretty much all they're going to be able to pick up from that.
Just the minimum, unfortunately. They would have had their eyes on more, but KONGDOO Monster forcing the Varus flash, and Taliyah and Varus being so susceptible to long-range engage like the Zac means that for now, the hopes are for ROX Tigers they can draw a fight out of KONGDOO Monster in more neutral territory, but short of a Baron buff and maybe the Elder Dragon when it spawns post 40 minutes, that's about the only terrain we'll see a real engage, you'd have to say, from KONGDOO Monster.
Yep. Well, Cloud Drake there does get taken, so Elder going to be on the way. 4 stacks available for the ROX Tigers. Basically a must-take scenario for KONGDOO when that threat becomes a reality. If they don't get that steal away, you can only imagine how much damage the likes of this Varus and this Taliyah are going to be doing. Threaded volley plus all that true damage burn just sounds dirty.
Yeah, dirty was the word I was going to reach for as well, Achilles.
Dirty.
Might just be Infinity Edge for the stopwatch, the final item here from Lindarang, because he's gone for the Phantom Dancer, so has some crit to back up more reliable barrel explosions. Playing 3 lanes here pretty confidently are the ROX Tigers, but do note that Sangyoon's flash is still more than 2 minutes away.
Well, Weaver's Wall, though, that is going to be available. Sukon on the turret side of things here. I'm trying to chunk out where he can, tossing in that barrel, but doesn't do a whole lot to the Alistar, and they don't do a whole lot to the turret.
And the minion wave's still really far away as well, so not going to be any more acceleration of the game. Long range engage, strong wave clear. Now the reason why games are stalled out is that when champions like Azir are in the meta, pretty hard to close games.
Ray's looking for the engage, trying to get there on top of Sangyoon. Yet again has him with the Let's Bounce, but the Cosmic Radiance is perfectly timed. Yet again, Sangyoon cutting his way back as Roach comes in over the wall, but he still has to build up the Gnar bar. Still a ways away, getting it closer and closer. Hasn't really been focused down. Can he go for the play?
Oh!
Hits the massive stun into the wall with the wall. The follow-up is Seonghwan almost goes down. They get the pop in onto the Zac, but now that's going to be Edge coming in. Empress Divide, and all of ROX are just getting destroyed. Lindarang will go down. That is the ace completed. A double kill over to SSol at the end, and KONGDOO Monster might have just turned around, might have just won this game.
They haven't won it yet, Achilles, but that is the turnaround you're looking for when you have the Azir and Zac in the late game. Monstrous flash in and ult from Edge gets them so much. And in terms of getting a lot, when it comes to objectives, they still have Azir and Ezreal alive. Essence Fox going to get so much value here. They're going to basically take the inhibitor, and another fight like that, when they've hit their items, the game ends.
Yeah, this turret going to get destroyed rather quickly. The inhibitor to follow up, but it's still 5 seconds on key, 12 on Sangyoon, so no real threat, even to Edge, who has been sitting at such low HP. We'll get another play over to this one.
This is why you never count out a comp like that of KONGDOO Monster. At the start, it looks fine for the side of ROX. Sure, you're too far advanced, but no one takes any damage when it's a nice engage. It continues to go, but Roach is building up his Gnar bar. He eyes everyone next to the wall. 3-man Gnar. Still work to be done. There's still work to be done, but now Raze gets into the backline. No one can flash on. They knock heads. An insane engage from Edge. Pushes back 4. At the start there, Lindarang dies as well. Beautiful stuff from KONGDOO Monster. And out of nowhere, just like we've seen other teams do, just like we saw the ROX Tigers do against BBQ, you blink and you miss it, and ROX Tigers could actually lose to KONGDOO Monster.
Way too far forward there underneath the turret, and then no respect to that right side flank. Both Raze and Roach launching their way in from that side, allowing for the wombo combo to happen. And just like that, KONGDOO Monster are actually the ones to break the first inhibitor.
To me, the respect,
huge turnaround.
The lack of respect is definitely the thing to call out, but remember, the Sangyoon only now gets his flash back up. That play was made with their AD carry and the chief damage dealer to the Baron not having flash. And speaking of the Baron, they're turning on to the Baron, they're going to get it fast. It doesn't necessarily change the equation of the game. That previous team fight was won with what? A 13,000 gold disadvantage, I believe it was, for KONGDOO Monster when it began, because it certainly was still a gold disadvantage when it ended.
And now you have to ask them to do it again.
This time they have the flash on Sangyoon, but none on Lava. Do they have eyes on the Zac? The answer is no. Right now they spot him, they know he's right side flank.
Yep, they're just kiting back. Do not want that elastic slingshot to come through, though they know that this time, at least if they do kill him, he doesn't have the passive up, but probably a bit more worrisome is the Gnar bar there for Roach. As all of ROX just going to go ahead and start rotating over towards that top side of the map. Lava still sitting in mid, going to be pushing up the waves, knows that he'll shortly have the Weaver's wall. If he needs to rejoin, it's about halfway off cooldown at the moment.
But the summoners down on both sides. Let's see what happens here. Already Gangplank ult.
Cannon barrage. Roach is ready to go in. Ready to transform here. But doesn't have the window that he wants to get that massive stun, so has to kite back. And now ROX are going to have that opportunity once the Gnar becomes exhausted to maybe push back up and start getting hits in onto this inhibitor turret.
Because Lava doesn't have the Weaver's wall at this point. They're not able to pull off the sort of play that we see the best teams, KSV for example, when we do see them play Taliyah, great at basically giving teams no option around inhibitors. And to be fair, ROX have been great at doing that around Barons. They're going to have Gangplank go bot lane, start pushing that lane up, try to play 3 lanes again. But to actually have 3 lanes pushing and summoners up on both of their carries is where ROX needs to get. And it's still about 45 seconds till Lava has it up, maybe short.
Weaver's wall will be coming through. Pitches off Roach, Raze maybe going in with the elastic slingshot, has this one drawn out. He comes through from Lindarang, joining back in. Seonghwan just gets melted. Sangyoon as well goes low. SSol with the jump forward with the arcane shift, trying to finish him off. They get both summoner spells out of the Varus. Just like that, ROX yet again have to peel back.
It just feels like a bucket of cold water is being thrown on the faces of ROX Tigers. But wake up, guys. The damage is there from KONGDOO Monster. They shouldn't need to be chunked out a second time by Azir and Ezreal to realize how powerful the carries are. We have gotten to the late game. This is all KONGDOO Monster we're looking for with this duo. They're turning on the Sejuani, but won't actually chase her down. ROX Tigers felt like they'd done the dirty work. They thought the first 35 minutes would just be the end of the game. But if you don't break the base, it's already surreal. The first inhibitor of the game was KONGDOO Monster. The next one could signify the end of it.
We'll have to see. KONGDOO Monster are able to push up into the river, at least get some vision down around this Elder Dragon. And again, this is pretty much a must-take from them. Deny the massive amount of AD AP away from ROX with that double Infernal and the 4 stacks for true damage.
But it's a difficult one for ROX because they don't have advanced vision in the enemy red side jungle. They do not know where Zac is, and that's why you see them playing around. They're unsure of what to do. Decision from KONGDOO Monsters to pull away.
Yep. That would have been a huge steal. That would have been SSol maybe saving the day, but doesn't quite find it. The smite's available, and now ROX, this newfound damage, probably going to feel a bit more comfortable to push up.
And now I think we sit back and we say 2 minutes 10 on the Elder Dragon, massively powerful Elder Dragon as well with the 4 stacks, 2 of them Infernals. Summoners up on Lava, none on Sangyoon. This kind of has to be the time. They have to break the base, it feels like, with their current lead. Otherwise, they're leaving it to a team fight, but they're not necessarily set up to win. We already said so many times, Zac is the natural predator of a no-escape carry, and ROX has 3 of those. So, right now, let's see ROX Tigers find a way to actually push up their waves. They're going to play around 2. They're not going to play the full court press. Smart of them to stick around mid and bot side. But unless they can actually get everything going, there's a lot of vision here for KONGDOO Monster, and there's plenty of fight in this guy still as well.
Wave getting pushed back there in the top lane. Lindarang could throw out the ultimate to try to start getting it advancing towards that inhib turret, but wants it so desperately for the team fight. You do see the Weaver's wall coming through. It's going to throw down the barrage anyway. Not really clipping people, but he's clearing out the wave, getting that one out as Let's Bounce comes through from Raze, but he doesn't find anyone, and the turret line has finally been broken. Sun comes out from the Sejuani, finds the lockdown there onto Secret. Not quite the target he would have liked, but ROX now at least have an inhibitor exposed inside the base of KONGDOO Monster with 55 seconds remaining on this Dragon buff. You can see Lindarang getting chunked out. Does heal considerably with the orange with the help of that Taric. Still has to be very careful as they play around this bottom side of the map.
That was a great ult by Lava, but some lazy ones from Lindarang and Seonghwan didn't really get any value from Gangplank or the Sejuani especially onto the already altered Secret. Don't know what he was seeing there. It's almost impossible for them to take this inhibitor. Sangyoon does not have flash, and he has so much to respect that they get almost no damage done on it every minion win.
Roach getting chunk down to about half. It's a nice little start here for ROX, but they need so much more than that. The slow up there onto Secret, now pushing forward. Seems like KONGDOO Monster is going to give them a bit of room to work with, and they do finish off that inhibitor there in the bottom side, but that's pretty much it. All they're going to be finding here for the entirety of that Elder Dragon buff.
Man, it's a struggle, Achilles. It's a real struggle for ROX to close out this game, and part of that is the comp they're against, and part of that is some mistakes in execution by them. Biggest mistake being pushing up without any of their summoners available on their AD carry, and felt disrespectful in many ways against the engage. Credit to KONGDOO for the smart engage last time. Now they've just about nosed over and taken a single inhibitor with an Elder Dragon and first to Baron. They've got all the buffs, but not really had too much to show about it. And yet this game could still be decided by just a single team fight.
Yeah, and they have, you know, almost a 12,000 gold lead going into this one here. But I don't know, Papa Smithy. Could be one more fight, or maybe we'll be sitting here 50 minutes from now waiting for the game to end with a brand new record on our hands.
Please don't say that too lightly. It is a possibility, but I'm going to say unlikely. I think we're going to be done in the next 15 minutes. You're never quite sure on this matter, but KONGDOO can win with a kill, with a team fight win. It kind of has to be 3 or 4. It can't be 1. But with 3 or 4 kills, they can win because they took out the inhibitor in their only meaningful push of the game. In every other part of the game, they've not been able to push, but there, they got so much. As we go back to Baron, and you see the pings from KONGDOO, they're like, well, you did nothing with the last one, you can have another one.
We'll try another attempt there. Actually missed the smite. That was about the best chance they had of getting that stolen away.
I'll have to ask Roach about his Gnar special. Second game in a row, he's gone Hurricane. Kind of a budget AD cannon kind of style here. It's about the AoE slows with the Frozen Mallet. I think you never go Hurricane unless you have Frozen Mallet, but it does provide a bit of control in fights, if not. You know, usually the fight is just, hey, Mega Gnar, but now Mini Gnar actually does have CC, so that's pretty cool, I guess. Just something different from Roach.
Does that help advance his rage build-up?
I don't have the answer to that question. Ult comes on to Secret.
Well, that's going to be the Weaver's Wall thrown down here, so Secret is caught out on that side. Classic swing shot drawn out by Raze, but I don't think he wants to jump into this one. Another inhibitor exposed. Super Creep still very far away from that bottom lane, so not a lot of pressure onto the base here of KONGDOO outside of this top lane push. Fan turret going to be coming up yet again.
Nice ult from Lava, though. It feels like almost they have to just play around Lava's cooldowns.
Yeah.
Take one objective at a time.
Sangyoon taking quite a bit of damage. Seismic shove there in onto Secret. Slow him up and knock him down to about half HP, but outside of that, not a whole lot gained. Redemption will pop up several of the ROX Tigers members, keeping them safe as Raze tries to go for the grab. Pulls in Seonghwan, but don't really have the damage to chunk him out. Now ultimate thrown in. Raze getting caught out, goes down to about half. The Cosmic Radiance connects here. On the side of the ROX Tigers, Soul's poking in from the sidelines. Raze goes in very deep, tries to get the Let's Bounce, but actually gets popped before he can cast it. Likely to get finished off when the TP comes through, helps keep him alive for the moment. He goes gold and stays in the fight, but Secret going in too deep. The Pulverize does go down, and Lindarang with the flash forward finishes off the Zac. Two of the tankiest members on the side of KONGDOO now taken out, only relying on Roach to stay into the front line to defend Edge and Soul. ROX will be going forward. They're going to be looking for the end. They found the catch there onto Edge. He flashes away, jumps away with the shifting sands, and seems like he might make it back to the fountain with his life. But the rest of the ROX Tigers, they're focusing in onto the Nexus. The first turret disappears. The second one is going to follow suit, and they will be able to close this out pre-94 minutes with a 2-0. ROX take down KONGDOO Monster after some delays here, perhaps not. They actually get the pop.
Hold it too soon,
Achilles.
It's against Azir, and you're never sure. They tried to ignore. We hoped that we would see this from SK Telecom, trying to ignore in their 94-minute game.
Unreal.
You see the frustration on the side of the the ROX Tigers players, but for KONGDOO Monster, they're going to try and run up. They've got a minion wave. They could actually win the game.
They might actually be able to do this. I glance at you for half a second, Papa Smithy, to have a conversation about the end of the game, and everything gets turned around. I have egg on my face as KONGDOO Monster are going to be going for the finish so far away, and they're going to have it. Wow.
The fans only start to squeal now because they understand they've lost the game.
Color me surprised!
They tried to finish it against double consistent
Roach
DPSs.
Showing off, throws out the Gnar ultimate. The Nexus will go down. And I've been made a fool. The ROX Tigers have been made massive fools. KONGDOO Monster They win it right at the end with the enemies at the gates, get the ace, push straight down the mid lane, and they take it out.
And this is kind of the what if that was on display. We never got to see what would happen if SKT bum rushed the Nexus against Gnar, but that was actually the call by the ROX Tigers. They thought they had their chance to go in and end, and the reason why they're shell-shocked is that was the wrong call. I think if Azir had gone down, easy finish. If Ezreal had gone down, it would have been a little bit more difficult, but probably still the right call to try to end the game. But when the three alive include Azir and Ezreal, it's the wrong call, and the wrong call costs them game 2.
Yep, I agree completely, and I apparently know something about wrong calls, Papa Smithy. So we'll go ahead and get another look at this one.
So remember, we're 5v3 at this point. You see this, and this is when you're like, the game will end. But watch Edge on the bottom side, stunned up, but he ults away. He actually dashes in, and he starts fighting. He's fighting against
that massive shield
Baroned up super minions. He gets the shield, like you say. Ezreal and Roach free hitting, 3 people with damage. Roach has an AoE build as well. See the coach in there. You see the members of KONGDOO. Not necessarily rejuvenated yet. They're going to wonder, did we pull off a robbery here, or is this our foothold back into the series? Coach Kong on the side of ROX Tigers, no doubt asking the obvious question, how did we let this one slip away?
An unbelievable victory for KONGDOO. I'm still processing it, Papa Smithy, but they managed to hold out there right at the end. I mean, and if there's anything that is going to halt your momentum, it's a comeback like that from KONGDOO Monster, where ROX were looking so dominant, exceeding 12,000 gold leads at certain parts in that game, denying all of the Barons away. Elder Dragon as well.
Gold became irrelevant. Baron buff, irrelevant. Elder, irrelevant. And then all decided by one wrong shot call around the Nexus.
Absolutely crazy, but KONGDOO, can they ride that forward? Can they take that wave and pick up the match victory overall, get the 2-1. They've extended us to game 3 where it looked absolutely impossible, but Edge at the end brings them back from the brink. And that's got to really not rest easy on your minds if you're the ROX Tigers. That's got to be a really rough thing to try to contemplate. And maybe we'll see some changes on their side. Everyone played relatively well, Lava especially with the Weaver's Walls. But maybe they'll try to shake something up here in game number 3 to assure victory.
A lot to think about for sure, Kilios.
It is. We'll see how that's going to weigh on their minds as we go to a break, guys. When we come back, game number 3, we'll see who takes the series, ROX or KONGDOO Monster.